Buenos días. Eso es más o menos todo que puedo decir en español. Entonces, ahora hablamos inglés. So, thank you very much for being here today. During this brief presentation, I will try to introduce you to the reason why we have seen over the past few years a lot of popularity among investors for smart beta and factor investing solutions. I will be a bit more focused on factor investing solutions. However, I will try to show you what we see in the market when investors are talking about smart beta factor solutions, because we know that there is a lot of confusion and we want to create some clarity. Now, just as a brief introduction to Amundi, some of you are familiar with Amundi. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Amundi. I'm not going to go through the reason why we believe we are a solid partner for a number of institutions. However, just a few words to tell you that we are the largest European asset managers. We went into a new dimension about 1 year ago when we acquired Pioneer Investment from UniCredit in Italy, and at the moment we have investment centers in every regions globally. We have investment centers in Boston, in London, in Paris, in Milan, in Tokyo, and in Hong Kong, so we are really a global company. Few words regarding our presence in the American region. Here again, I'm sure most of you are familiar that we are very well present in America in general and in Latin America in particular. We have been in Chile for more than 10 years now. We have 5 colleagues here that take care of institutional clients. And again, we have a very strong presence in Latin America, but this is not the topic of the day. Digging a little bit more in the topic, a few words about the investment platform on which I am located. The investment platform on which I am located is called the ETF Indexing and Smart Beta Platform, which means that on the same platform, we manage both index solutions for clients and proprietary smart beta strategies, factor solutions for clients. It's important to understand why we decided to aggregate these two expertise into one single investment platform. The reason why we decided to aggregate our index expertise together with our smart beta expertise is that we see a global convergence globally between index products and smart beta products, factor solution products. More and more index providers are becoming investment solutions provider, and they do this by developing smart beta or factor investing strategies. And from that perspective, they do cooperate, but also compete directly with asset managers like us. On our platform, on our investment management platform, we have both a very deep understanding of smart beta and factor investing indices, as well as proprietary smart beta and factor solutions. Now, digging a little bit more in the topic. Again, there is a lot of confusion because people talk about smart beta, people talk about risk parity, factor investing, minimum variance, and so on and so forth. We created this chart, this mapping, just as a way for read the different product offering that you see on the market when investors talk about smart beta. Generally speaking, when investors talk about smart beta, they talk about two types of solutions, two types of equity solutions, because here I am purely focused on the equity space. The first type of solutions they're talking about are the so-called, or at least we call them like this, risk-efficient solutions. Risk-efficient solutions are investment strategies, equity investment strategies, which are designed to make the best possible use of the investor risk budget. These strategies are designed to avoid the so-called unrewarded risk. What does that mean? They are designed to avoid unrewarded risks. That means that these strategies, as much as possible, will avoid to be invested in assets that are too much correlated, because correlation is not a rewarded risk. These strategies will avoid as much as possible to be invested in concentrated portfolio because concentration is not a rewarded risk, and so on and so forth. And the most popular so-called risk-efficient solutions that we see at the moment on the market are strategies which have been popular now for more than 10 years, are strategies like equity minimum variance, equity risk parity, and to a lesser extent, strategies like equal weight or glorified equal weights. So those are the first categories of smart beta strategies we see on the market, risk-efficient solutions, and the flagship risk-efficient solution is the minimum variance strategy. On the other end, the second categories that we see being extremely popular over the past few years among institutional investors are factor investing solutions. So here the premises, the rationale for investing in a factor strategy, it's not so much about avoiding this so-called unrewarded risk, but it is about capturing the so-called rewarded risk factors. So the starting point, and I will elaborate on this in the next few slides, the starting point of factor investing solution is that you believe in the investment case that some risk factors will generate positive excess return in the long run, and you want to design investment strategies that combine the different rewarded risk factors into an investment portfolio to benefit both from their positive expected return as well as the decorrelation between these different factors, and we will see an example of this later on. So this is the second category of smart beta strategy, factor solutions. Obviously, this is just a rough mapping of the different product and solution you can see, and there is a lot of overlap between risk-efficient solutions and factor investing solutions. Risk-efficient products have exposure to rewarded risk factors, and rewarded risk factors are a component of the performance of risk-efficient solutions. Now, for the sake of time, I will skip the part regarding risk-efficient solutions, and I will focus a little bit more on factor investing strategies because those are the strategies where we have seen the most demand globally over the past year or so. As I was saying, the key rationale or the key premises for factor investing is that you believe in the investment case. If you don't believe in the investment case, it's pointless to invest in factor strategy. What is the investment case? The investment case is that there are some risk factors, and here you have, or at least my definition of risk factor. A risk factor is a characteristic which is shared by many stocks and that has proven its ability to explain the stock's performance. Explain the stock's performance does not justify that the stock will outperform or underperform. A sector is a risk factor because everything else being equal, stocks from the same sector tend to move together. The country of a stock is a risk factor because everything else being equal, the stocks from the same country tend to move together. So this is what a risk factor is now, what we've seen and what a number of academics have seen over the past few years, academics and practitioners like us. We have seen that some risk factors have historically earned superior risk-adjusted return. That is to say, return higher than what their capital asset pricing model beta would predict. So these factors have generated positive excess return, and they are expected to continue to generate positive excess return because they are associated either with a secondary risk premium. That is to say, these factors give you exposure which are not properly priced by the market, and when you invest in these factors, you get the market reward, or because these risk factors are associated with a market inefficiency. So there is a market inefficiency, and by positioning yourself on this market inefficiency, you are going to generate positive excess return. So the typical example of a risk factor which is considered as a risk premium would be, for example, the value factor or the size factor. A typical example of a risk factor associated with a market anomaly would be, for example, the low volatility factor. The low volatility factor is a factor which has been associated with a market inefficiency, low volatility stocks seem to outperform for a number of reasons related to market structure and behavioral issues. So this is what we see here. I did not invent anything particular. Here I'm just showing the long-term performance of the most popular factors used by investors, institutional investors looking for exposure to factor solutions. The most popular risk factors, the most popular rewarded risk factors in the industry, when you talk to pension funds, when you talk to sovereign institutions, are factors like quality, value, mid-cap, minimum volatility, and there are others like momentum, which are not on that slide. So, factor investing, the first rationale for investing in factor strategies is that you expect these factors to generate positive excess return in the long run. The second reason why you want, or why investors have been particularly attracted to this type of strategies, to multi-factor strategies, is that the factors, the excess return of the factors, of the rewarded risk factors, tend to be uncorrelated. And this is what you can see, this is what you can see on this slide. On this slide, we show, and again, we did not invent anything here. On this slide, we show the correlation between the excess return of the different rewarded risk factors. And what you can see is that the correlation of this excess return is relatively low. If you look at the correlation, for example, between momentum and value, it is not a surprise. Momentum stocks tend to go up when value stocks tend to go down. Value stocks tend to go up when momentum stocks tend to go down. So there is a lot of diversification opportunities between these different rewarded risk factors. And the key, the name of the game of factor investing is to try to build well-diversified portfolio across these different rewarded risk factors. And the reason you want to do that, it's basic portfolio management. They will generate return, so you want to be invested in these assets. They will generate positive excess return, so you want exposure to them. They are uncorrelated, so by building a portfolio of well-diversified rewarded risk factors, you end up with a portfolio with a moderate level of risk, and this is what we will see. Now, I will skip these slides because this is not the most important slide, and I will go directly to the real question, which is how do you build a multi-factor portfolio? Here, I'm trying to be as agnostic as possible. I will not be particularly focused on what we do at Amundi, but I will rather share with you what we see on the market when we see academics, when we see practitioners offering multi-factor strategies. And again, I'm focused on the equity part here. We broadly see two approaches on the market. We see one approach to multi-factor investing, which is called top-down multi-factor. And this is the one which is described on this slide. And then on the next slide, I will discuss the so-called bottom-up approach to multi-factor investing, which you will see is slightly different, but it's very important to well understand the difference between these two different portfolio construction approach, because they have very significant consequences in terms of what kind of portfolio you buy, what kind of portfolio you are invested in. So the first approach, top-down approach, and again, it's an approach which we have to some extent, which some index providers have, which some of our competitors have. The concept here is relatively simple. You want to build a multi-factor portfolio, so you are going to start by building factor portfolio. So you are going to start by building a value portfolio, a momentum portfolio, a low volatility portfolio, any kind of portfolio of factors that you believe will be rewarded. So depending on your existing portfolio, depending on your view of the different factors, you may choose to create 3-factor portfolio, 4-factor portfolio, 5-factor portfolio. Each of these portfolio will be invested in stocks that are mostly exposed to the factor you're looking for. So that's the first step. The second step of the portfolio construction approach is to allocate between the different factors. Once you have built your different factor portfolio, the question is, how are you going to allocate between them? Are you going to equal weight your different factors? Are you going to risk weight them? If you risk weight them, are you going to base your risk estimates on volatility or tracking error? There are plenty of ways to allocate between the different factors. But here again, the idea is that you have built your factor portfolio, you have some building blocks, and then you are going to allocate between this building block. Most of the multi-factor portfolio manager will try to have relatively static exposure, i.e. they are not trying to time the different factors, but you may have some change in the different factor exposure along time based on a number of risk estimates or market data. So this is the first approach, the top-down approach. The characteristic of this approach, and this is very important, is that you tend to have portfolios which are very well diversified because they are combination of portfolio, so large number of stocks, a low level of concentration, again, because you have a portfolio of portfolios, so you end up with large number of stocks, relatively low level of turnover. Again, you have a large number of stocks, so by definition, your turnover will be moderate, and relatively low tracking error compared to your index, the underlying index, again, because you have a large portfolio. Now, the second category of multi-factor strategies that we are seeing on the market, and here the approach is quite different. So I am again talking about multi-factor strategy, but conceptually you are going somewhere else. We are talking about bottom-up multi-factor strategies. Bottom-up multi-factor strategies, and again, some competitors are doing that, some index providers are doing that. Here the concept is that rather than separately building factor portfolio, so one value portfolio, one momentum portfolio, one low volatility portfolio, the asset manager is going to build a portfolio which is invested in stocks which are simultaneously exposed to all the factors you are looking for. So the asset manager is going to build portfolio of factor champions, that is to say, all the stocks that are in the portfolio, all the stocks that are in the multi-factor portfolio will be highly exposed to value, highly exposed to momentum, highly exposed to size, highly exposed to any factors that you want to get exposure to. So that's fantastic because you end up with portfolio with high factor exposure. The drawback of this approach, and again, this is something which is very it's not a big surprise. The drawback of this approach of bottom-up multi-factor portfolio construction is that you end up with portfolios which are highly concentrated, which tend to have a relatively high level of tracking error, which tend to have a relatively high level of risk because, again, they are concentrated on a few stocks, and which have, and this is, I'm not sure I mentioned it, which also have relatively high turnover because, again, if you build a concentrated portfolio using a quantitative model out of a large investment universe, you are going to have a portfolio which will turn a lot. So here you can see that there are a number of different animals in the market. So my advice would be, when you look at multi-factor strategies, you should have this framework in mind to better analyze and better understand what our friends are trying to sell you. So as far as we are concerned, since we are aware of, let's say, the benefits and drawbacks of the different strategies on the market, and again, here you can find the benefits and drawbacks. High turnover for bottom-up strategy, low turnover for top-down strategy, high diversification for top-down strategy, low diversification for top-down strategy, and so on and so forth. As far as we are concerned at Amundi, the multi-factor strategies that we have been managing for a number of years now do integrate characteristics of the two approaches. Our idea, our motto is to build multi-factor portfolios which are well diversified. However, we reckon that bottom-up strategies also have a number of benefits. They have a number of benefits, particularly in terms of high factor exposure. Typically, bottom-up strategies tend to have higher factor exposure than top-down strategy. There is less dilution in terms of factor exposure. And so we have an approach which is an hybrid approach between top-down and multi-factor strategies. On that note, I will conclude. I will conclude by saying again that the world of smart beta, the world of factor investing, is sometimes a confusing world. As far as we are concerned, we try to be relatively agnostic in the different approaches that we see on the market. We offer different type of solution, and this is the reason why we can talk relatively objectively about the different strategies that you see on the market and talk about their benefits and their merits. And on that note, I'm done. Okay. Thank you.